Call the member for Canberra.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. It is vital to bus congestion, most importantly because of the impact on our environment. And the best way to do this and reduce our environmental impact is by investing in public transport. Aside from the lake and its towering jet of water, the iconic national institutions and the countless roundabouts, Walter Burley Griffin and Marion Mahoney Griffin's original plan for this beautiful city also included trams. Over 100 years later, the ACT Labor government has delivered on Griffin's vision. Stage 1 of the Canberra Light Rail has now been completed. Running 12 kilometres from Civic to Gungahlin, it has transformed how people get around our city. Canberra is getting bigger, with a population of almost 400,000, and that means more people getting to work, more people driving cars, and more people relying on the public transport system in Canberra, which is currently mainly comprised of buses. The ACT government, under the leadership of Chief Minister Andrew Barr and Transport Minister Chris Steele, is planning for the future of Canberra and working to avoid the congestion issues of other capital cities before they escalate. Despite opposition from the old-school Canberra Liberals, the Barr Labor government persevered and in less than 4 years from ground being broken, delivered to Canberra world-class light rail. This is quite staggering when you think about it, especially when compared to Sydney and Newcastle's light rail, which have both seen delays and cost overruns. I might also add that the ACT government has not been sued by the contractors tasked with building the system and instead were able to deliver the project $32 million under budget. Since it opened in April, over 3.1 million people have utilised the system and journeys on the whole of the public transport network have increased by 8.5% compared to the same period in 2018. Light rail trips now make up 20% of all public transport use in our city. The system is having a transformative impact on how people access our great city. More people are getting out of their cars and onto our trams and buses, reducing both congestion and its impacts on the environment. Canberrans are jumping on board with light rail. Stage 2B is about to commence, extending the current line through City West to New Acton and terminating at the Commonwealth Avenue Bridge. This section of the light rail will open up the west side of the city and improve access for major events such as Floriade, which has just finished up this weekend. The ACT government is not finished either. Stage 2B of the light rail, which will travel from Civic to Woden, will bring the network to the south and enable access to even more Canberrans. And in the future, the light rail network will continue to expand to Belconnen, Tuggeranong and the airport. One of the most exciting aspects of Stage 2 is the game-changing impacts it will have for the Parliamentary Triangle. No longer will public servants be stuck in the morning traffic along Commonwealth Avenue. Perhaps when Stage 2 is delivered, the members of this place might even opt for the light rail instead of a car in their daily commute to represent their communities. And for tourists travelling to our national institutions, getting from the hotels in the city to Old Parliament House, the High Court and Questacon will become a far simpler exercise. On the member for Ford's motion, I too express concerns about congestion in our cities and the need for governments at every level to invest in congestion-busting infrastructure, particularly public transport, to improve the lives of our citizens and reduce our environmental impact. This is exactly what the ACT government is doing. The Morrison government failed to spend $1 from the Urban Congestion Fund in 2018-19, but they did spend $11.6 million on taxpayer-funded congestion-busting advertising in the lead-up to the election. Minister Tudge confirmed in September that not one Urban Congestion Fund project has commenced construction and promised some would start by Christmas. Which ones? Where? I would call on the federal government to join with the ACT government to push forward on Stage 2B of light rail. The ACT needs the approval of this parliament to enable the light rail to travel through the Parliamentary Triangle, and I call on the government to expedite the approval of this project. It will bring congestion-busting infrastructure to Canberrans, it will stimulate the economy, and it will improve the amenity of the Parliamentary Triangle for the many thousands of Australians and international visitors who visit each year. Our city is growing, and it's vital we provide the infrastructure necessary to ensure that it does so in a sustainable way. As we move forward, we must ensure that our urban centres operate as efficiently as possible, and congestion-busting light rail is one way we can accomplish this. In the May election, the Federal Labor Party committed $200 million towards the funding of Stage 2 of Canberra Light Rail, and I call on the government to match this commitment. Thank you.
I thank the member. The question is